Commander Maya Chen stared at the alien vessel through the forward viewport of the ESS Defiance, her heart pounding in her chest. After 20 years of space exploration, humanity had finally made contact with an extraterrestrial civilization. The ship, if you could call it that, resembled a massive crystalline structure, refracting starlight into prismatic patterns across its surface. It dwarfed the Defiance by at least a factor of 10. "Status report," Maya demanded, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. Lieutenant Alejandro Alex Reyes, her tactical officer and closest friend since their days at the academy, scanned his console. "No detectable weapons systems, Commander. But their energy signature is off the charts. We're reading technology far beyond our current capabilities." "Open a communication channel," Maya ordered. "Standard greeting protocol." Communications Officer Zhang nodded, fingers dancing across her console. "Channel open, Commander." Maya straightened her uniform and faced the main view screen. "This is Commander Maya Chen of the Earth spaceship Defiance. We come in peace as representatives of humanity. We seek peaceful exchange and mutual understanding." For several tense moments, there was nothing but silence. Then, without warning, a blinding light filled the bridge. When it faded, Maya found herself face to face with something. The alien stood nearly 3 meters tall, its body seemingly composed of translucent, crystalline structures that shifted and rearranged themselves constantly. Where a face should be, there was only a swirling vortex of light and color. It had no discernible limbs, just appendages that formed and dissolved as needed. "We are the Vox Crystallis," a voice resonated directly in Maya's mind, bypassing her ears entirely. "Your primitive species amuses us. We have observed your development for centuries. You are barely beyond throwing rocks at each other." Maya felt a chill run down her spine but maintained her composure. "We may be younger than your civilization, but we are eager to learn and share knowledge." The alien's form pulsed with light that somehow conveyed derision. "There is nothing you can teach us. Your species is fragile, emotional, and inefficient. A biological curiosity, nothing more." "Then why make contact now?" Maya challenged. "Your expansion must be contained before you become a nuisance. We have claimed this sector of space. You will retreat to your solar system and remain there." The bridge crew exchanged alarmed glances. Earth's burgeoning colonies on Mars, Europa, and Titan had already strained resources to the breaking point. Humanity needed to expand or face stagnation and eventual collapse. "This sector contains dozens of habitable systems," Maya argued. "Surely we can find a peaceful arrangement." "The decision is not negotiable," the alien interrupted. "You have 30 of your Earth days to withdraw all human presence from beyond your solar system. After that, we will remove you ourselves." Before Maya could respond, the alien vanished in another flash of light, leaving the bridge crew in stunned silence. "Well," Alex said, breaking the tension, "that could have gone better." Maya's jaw tightened. "Get me Earth Central Command. Now." The emergency summit convened on Luna Base included representatives from every nation, colony, and corporate entity with a stake in humanity's future among the stars. Maya presented her encounter with the Vox Crystallis, including all sensor data the Defiance had gathered. Fleet Admiral Winston Clark, a grizzled veteran with a perpetual scowl, summarized the consensus: "We can't fight them. Their technology is at least several centuries beyond ours. And we can't comply either. Retreat means death for our species in the long run." "There must be a third option," Maya insisted. Dr. Elara Voss, Earth's leading xenobiologist, adjusted her glasses thoughtfully. "Commander Chen, did you notice anything unusual about their physiology?" Maya frowned. "Besides being crystalline entities communicating via telepathy?" "Their structure," Elara clarified. "Our sensors indicate they exist partially in dimensions we can barely detect. They're energy beings using crystalline matrices as anchors in our reality." "And that helps us how?" Admiral Clark demanded. "It means they perceive reality differently than we do," Elara explained. "Their apparent superiority might come with blind spots, weaknesses we could exploit." Maya leaned forward. "What kind of weaknesses?" "For one, they seem to lack physical adaptability. Their forms are energy efficient but rigid in function. And they clearly underestimate us. They called us primitive, emotional, inefficient. All accurate descriptors, someone muttered. Maya slammed her hand on the table. No. Those aren't weaknesses, there are strengths. We're adaptable. We feel deeply. We find solutions that aren't obvious or efficient on paper but work in practice. If the Vox Crystallis have been evolving along purely logical, efficient pathways for millennia, they might be incapable of understanding how we think. A thoughtful silence fell over the room. You're suggesting psychological warfare, Admiral Clark said slowly. I'm suggesting we use what makes us human, Maya corrected. We have 29 days to figure out how. The plan was audacious, borderline insane, and exactly the kind of thinking the Vox Crystallis wouldn't anticipate. While the aliens expected a military response or abject surrender, humanity pursued a third path. Every available ship was mobilized not for evacuation or combat, but for a massive diplomatic and scientific mission. Each vessel carried a diverse crew of scientists, diplomats, artists, and specialists from every human culture and discipline. Their mission: make contact with other spacefaring species the Vox had subjugated or intimidated, gather intelligence, and forge alliances. The Defiance, with Maya at the helm, would deliver humanity's formal response directly to the Vox homeworld, a response no algorithm could predict because it would be fundamentally, irrationally human. This is either the boldest diplomatic initiative in history or the most elaborate suicide mission, Alex remarked as they prepared to depart. Maya checked her sidearm. Standard protocol, though likely useless against the Vox. Either way, they'll remember us. Dr. Elara Voss joined them on the bridge, carrying specialized equipment she'd developed over sleepless weeks. The dimensional resonance scanners are calibrated. If my theory is correct, we'll be able to detect fluctuations in their crystalline matrices that might indicate emotional responses. Emotional responses from emotionless beings? Alex questioned. Even the most logical systems have base programming, Elara explained. Imperatives that might manifest as something we would recognize as emotional reactions. Pride. Curiosity. Fear. Maya nodded. And if we can identify those reactions, we can exploit them, Elara finished. The Defiance broke orbit as Earth's last, best hope. The Vox homeworld defied conventional parameters for habitability. It orbited a pulsar at a distance that should have rendered it a radiation-blasted wasteland. Instead, it thrived. If thrived was the right word for a planet composed primarily of crystalline structures arranged in geometrically perfect patterns. It's beautiful, Alex whispered as they approached. In an alien, terrifying way. No signs of atmosphere or surface water, reported Science Officer Park. Extreme radiation levels. No organic life could survive there. We're being scanned, warned Zhang from communications. Maya straightened her uniform. Let them look. We have nothing to hide. The ship shuddered as an energy beam enveloped it, then went still. A moment later, 3 Vox entities materialized on the bridge. You were instructed to withdraw, the central figure projected telepathically. Instead, you approach our core systems. Explain this Defiance. Maya stepped forward. We come to offer a demonstration. The alien's crystalline structure shifted slightly. Demonstration? Of humanity's value. You judge us primitive, yet you haven't truly observed us. Before you condemn our species to isolation and stagnation, witness what we are capable of. The 3 aliens communicated silently among themselves, their forms pulsing with light. Your proposition intrigues us, the leader finally responded. What demonstration do you offer? Maya gestured to Dr. Voss, who activated a holographic projector. This is a record of human civilization. Our art, science, philosophy, and history, including our conflicts. We propose a cultural exchange. Share your knowledge with us, and we will share ours with you. What value could your knowledge possibly hold for us? The unexpected, Maya replied simply. Humans excel at finding patterns and solutions that logical progression would never reveal. It's why we value creative thinking alongside analytical reasoning. The aliens conferred again. We will permit your demonstration. You and a small delegation may accompany us to the Nexus. The rest of your crew will remain here. Maya nodded. Acceptable. My team will be ready in 1 hour. After the aliens departed, Alex grabbed Maya's arm. You can't be serious. We're supposed to be gathering intelligence, not walking into their headquarters. That's exactly where intelligence is going to be most valuable, Maya replied. Besides, while they're focused on us, the rest of Earth's ships are making contact throughout the sector. Alex shook his head. Still doesn't explain why you're personally leading this suicide mission. Maya's expression hardened. Because someone needs to look them in whatever passes for their eyes and show them humanity won't be underestimated. The Nexus was a colossal crystalline structure at the planet's north pole. Inside, Maya, Alex, Elara, and 2 security officers found themselves in a vast chamber where hundreds of Vox entities hovered in concentric rings around a central spire of pulsating energy. This is our collective, their guide explained. Here, all knowledge is shared instantaneously through the resonance. Maya observed the aliens carefully. Do you all think as one, then? We are individuals within the greater harmony. Unity of purpose without sacrificing perspective. Dr. Voss activated her scanner discreetly, recording the dimensional fluctuations as the aliens communicated. How do you handle disagreement? Maya pressed, the alien's form flickered briefly. Disagreement stems from incomplete information or flawed analysis. When all data is shared perfectly, consensus naturally follows. That's not been our experience, Maya said. Human perspectives can differ even with the same information. We consider that diversity of thought valuable. A symptom of your neural inefficiency, the alien dismissed. Now, you will present your demonstration to the collective. Maya stepped forward as the surrounding crystals pulsed with attention. She nodded to Elara, who activated a specialized holographic display. Rather than tell you about humanity, Maya announced, I will show you. The hologram displayed Earth's history in rapid sequence, cave paintings giving way to written language, ancient monuments rising, wars and peace, technological development, artistic expression, scientific discovery, all culminating in humanity's first steps into space. We have fought ourselves more than any external enemy, Maya narrated. We have nearly destroyed our world multiple times. Yet we survive. We adapt. We create beauty from chaos. The display shifted to show human responses to crisis, communities rebuilding after disasters, innovations born of necessity, sacrifices made for strangers, unexpected kindness in moments of darkness. This is what makes us human, Maya concluded. Not our technology. Not our efficiency. But our capacity to face the impossible and refuse to accept it. The chamber remained silent. Then, gradually, a vibration began to build. The crystalline entities were communicating on frequencies beyond human perception. Elara checked her scanner and whispered urgently, they're agitated. The dimensional fluctuations are intensifying. Your demonstration is noted, the leader of the collective finally stated. Yet it changes nothing. Your species is chaotic, unpredictable. You would disrupt the harmony we have maintained for millennia across this sector. Maya stood her ground. Harmony or stagnation? The alien's form sharpened, edges becoming more defined. A reaction Dr. Voss's scanner registered as analogous to anger. You dare question civilizations that achieved interstellar travel when your ancestors were still discovering fire? Yes, Maya said simply. Because age doesn't automatically confer wisdom. Sometimes it just calcifies bad habits. The vibrations intensified, becoming audible even to human ears, a high, crystalline ringing that made the security officers wince and cover their ears. Commander, Alex warned, hand moving to his weapon. Maya raised her palm slightly, signaling restraint. We've shown you our past. Let me tell you about our future, the future you're trying to prevent. Your future is irrelevant. The decision is made. Then why allow this demonstration at all? Maya challenged. Why not destroy our ship immediately? I think you're curious. I think part of you recognizes something valuable in us that you've lost in your pursuit of perfect efficiency. The leader's crystalline structure fractured slightly before recomposing. Enough. Your delegation will return to your vessel. You have 20 Earth hours to depart our space before we take action. Maya nodded calmly. We understand. Thank you for your hospitality. As they were escorted back to their transport, Alex whispered, "That's it? We're just leaving?" "Not exactly," Maya murmured. "Dr. Voss, did you get what we needed?" Elara nodded, clutching her scanner. "More than enough. Their crystalline matrices fluctuate in predictable patterns when agitated. And you certainly agitated them." Maya smiled grimly. That was just the opening move. Back aboard the Defiance, Maya called an emergency meeting with her senior staff. "The Vox Crystallis will not be reasoned with through conventional diplomacy," she announced. "But Dr. Voss's data confirms they're not as emotionless as they claim. Their crystalline structures respond to stimuli in ways that suggest primitive emotional reactions, particularly when their assumptions are challenged." "Great," Alex said. "So we made them angry. How does that help us?" Elara stepped forward, displaying her findings. "It's more complex than anger. Their entire perception is rooted in harmony and predictability. When faced with chaos with human unpredictability, their crystalline structures actually destabilize slightly. It's like cognitive dissonance manifesting physically. A weakness," Maya concluded. "One we can exploit." "To what end?" asked Chief Engineer Rodriguez. "We still can't match their firepower." "We don't need to," Maya replied. "We just need to disrupt their consensus long enough for our other teams to complete their missions." She activated the main display, showing the status of Earth's diplomatic fleet. Dozens of vessels were scattered across the sector, making contact with species the Vox had previously subjugated or intimidated. While we've been keeping the collective distracted, our people have been busy. The Vox maintain control through fear and the appearance of invincibility. But several civilizations have already expressed interest in alliance once they realized we're actually standing up to the Crystallis. They still outgun us and our potential allies combined, Alex pointed out. "Which is why we're not planning a conventional war," Maya explained. "We're planning to shatter their consensus from within." She outlined the plan, a daring, multi-pronged approach that combined Dr. Voss's scientific insights with tactical maneuvers no logical being would anticipate. "This is insanity," Rodriguez muttered. "Exactly," Maya agreed. "That's our advantage." The first phase began immediately. Instead of retreating as ordered, the Defiance launched dozens of automated probes toward the Vox homeworld. Each probe broadcast on different frequencies, transmitting data packets filled with the most unpredictable aspects of human culture: abstract art, jazz music, surrealist poetry, philosophical paradoxes, and optical illusions. "They're responding," Jean reported as the probes approached their targets. "Multiple crystalline vessels in pursuit." "Hold position," Maya ordered. "Let them come to us." The Vox ships moved with perfect geometric precision, forming a containment pattern around the human vessel. "They're hailing us," Zhang announced. On screen, Maya replied calmly. The leader of the collective appeared, its crystalline form sharper and more jagged than before. "Your probes are an act of aggression. Withdraw immediately or be destroyed." "We're not attacking you," Maya responded. "We're sharing our culture, as promised." Each probe contains different aspects of human expression. Consider it a gift. We do not desire your chaotic transmissions. They serve no purpose. "I disagree," Maya said. "They serve to demonstrate exactly what you're trying to eliminate from this sector: diversity of thought and expression." As they spoke, the probes reached their destination's key transmission nodes in the Vox planetary network, identified by Dr. Voss's scans. The chaotic transmissions began flowing directly into the collective's communication systems. "What is the alien's form?" flickered violently. "Stop this interference." "It's not interference," Maya corrected. "It's art. Music. Philosophy. The products of minds that think differently than yours." On Elara's console, readings spiked dramatically. "It's working," she whispered. "Their crystalline matrices are destabilizing across the network." The alien leader's form shuddered, fragments of crystal briefly separating before being pulled back together. "This disruption will not be tolerated." "That's phase 1, Maya noted calmly to her crew as the transmission cut off. "Prepare for phase 2. While the Vox struggled to purge the human cultural transmissions from their network, Dr. Voss finalized her invention, a device that could generate frequency patterns matching the resonance of Vox crystalline structures, but introducing subtle discordant elements. It's like playing a musical note that's just slightly out of tune, she explained as Alex helped her install the device on a shuttle. Not enough to be immediately rejected, but enough to create growing discomfort and dissonance within their collective consciousness. And you're sure this won't just piss them off more? Alex asked. Oh, it absolutely will, Elara admitted. But it will also force individuality into their collective thought. They'll have to process our input separately instead of achieving instant consensus. Maya joined them, checking the shuttle systems. The diplomatic teams report alliances established with 7 previously subjugated species. They're standing by for our signal. You're really going through with this? Alex asked, concern evident in his voice. I am, Maya confirmed. The shuttle stealth systems should get me close enough to deploy Dr. Voss's device directly into their central spire. Let me go instead, Alex insisted. You're needed here to coordinate. Maya shook her head. The Vox have already interfaced with my neural patterns. The device will be more effective if I'm the one operating it. She placed a hand on his shoulder. Besides, someone needs to be ready to get our people out of here if this goes sideways. No further arguments would sway her. Within the hour, Maya piloted the shuttle toward the Vox homeworld, using the confusion caused by the cultural probes as cover. The planetary defenses were formidable, but focused outward, not on a small shuttle approaching from one of their own vessels. Using irregular flight patterns, another concept foreign to the geometrically minded Vox, Maya navigated through their sensor grid. Defiance, I'm approaching the central spire, she reported. Defense systems appear to be in disarray. Confirmed, Elara replied through the comm, our cultural transmissions have created significant disruption in their network. You should have a window of approximately 12 minutes before they restore order. Maya landed the shuttle on a crystalline platform near the base of the spire. Donning an environmental suit equipped with gravity boots, essential in the low-gravity, airless environment, she made her way toward the pulsating energy core. The landscape was eerily beautiful, crystalline structures catching and refracting the pulsar's radiation into prismatic cascades. No Vox entities appeared to challenge her. They were either unaware of her presence or too preoccupied with the network disruption to respond. Reaching the base of the spire, Maya activated Dr. Voss's device and began calibrating it to match the frequency emanating from the structure. The readings fluctuated wildly, making adjustment difficult. The patterns are shifting, she reported. They're trying to adapt. Keep adjusting, Elara instructed. Follow the dominant frequency. Maya's fingers danced across the controls, pursuing the elusive resonance pattern. Finally, the device locked on, emitting a barely perceptible hum that matched the spire's vibration but with subtle discordant elements woven through. Connection established, Maya confirmed. Initiating Phase 3. She activated the final sequence, uploading a specially prepared package directly into the Vox central consciousness. Not chaotic cultural elements this time, but something more fundamental: the complete history of human ethical development, philosophical debates about consciousness, identity, and freedom, and testimonials from the species humanity had just allied with. The spire's pulsations intensified dramatically, its light shifting through colors human eyes had never witnessed before. The crystalline structures around Maya began to vibrate at increasing amplitude. Maya, get out of there. Alex's voice came urgently through the comm. Energy readings are off the charts. She secured the device and turned to retreat only to find herself surrounded by Vox entities, their forms jagged and erratic. What have you done? Their leader projected, the telepathic communication discordant and fragmented. Introduced a perspective you needed to consider, Maya answered, standing her ground despite the danger. You called us primitive because we disagree, because we feel emotions, because we value individuality. But those traits created everything you're experiencing now: art that moves you, philosophy that challenges you, ethics that question your right to subjugate others. You have damaged the harmony, the leader accused, advancing menacingly. I've enriched it, Maya countered. Perfect consensus isn't harmony, it's stagnation. True harmony comes from different notes combining to create something greater than each alone. The crystals around her vibrated more intensely, some beginning to crack from the strain of conflicting resonances. We will destroy you, the leader threatened, though its form was now barely maintaining cohesion. You can, Maya acknowledged. But you can't destroy the idea I've introduced. And you can't stop the alliance we've formed with others you've oppressed. Your perfect empire of crystalline logic is already changing. The leader surged forward, but another Vox entity intercepted it, crystals clashing with a sound like breaking glass. The human speaks truth, the second entity projected. We have grown rigid in our thinking. The dissonance is illuminating. More Vox entities appeared, some aligning with the leader, others with the dissenter. The perfect geometric arrangement of their society was fracturing along with their consensus. Maya used the distraction to retreat toward her shuttle, maintaining communication with the Defiance. The collective is fragmenting. Some are actually defending our position. Maya, the energy readings from the spire are becoming dangerously unstable, Elara warned. Whatever you've triggered is cascading through their entire network. Reaching the shuttle, Maya looked back to see the central spire pulsing erratically, cracks appearing along its previously perfect surface. The Vox were too preoccupied with their internal conflict to pursue her. She launched the shuttle, narrowly escaping as the crystalline landscape began to fracture and reform in chaotic new patterns. The Defiance retreated to a safe distance as the Vox homeworld underwent a transformation visible even from space. The perfect geometric patterns dissolved, replaced by organic, flowing structures that seemed to pulse with new energy. What exactly did we do to them? Alex asked, watching the display in awe. Dr. Voss studied her readings intently. We didn't destroy them. We evolved them. The resonance device didn't just disrupt their network, it introduced variables their collective consciousness had never considered. They're reorganizing around new principles. Is that good or bad for us? Rodriguez questioned. Before anyone could answer, communications pinged. Commander, we're receiving a transmission from the Vox homeworld, Zhang reported. It's different. On screen, Maya ordered. The entity that appeared was still crystalline, but its structure was more fluid, less rigidly geometric. Colors flowed through it in patterns reminiscent of human emotional expression. Commander Chen, it projected, the telepathic voice somehow warmer than before. I am Resonant Harmony, formerly of the Collective, now speaker for the evolving consensus. Maya stepped forward. I'm relieved to see you survived the transformation. We have not merely survived, we have awakened. For millennia, we pursued perfect efficiency and logical harmony, eliminating all that seemed chaotic or unpredictable. In doing so, we eliminated growth itself. And now? Maya asked cautiously. Now we face an uncomfortable truth. In your apparent weakness, your emotions, your disagreements, your inefficiencies, lies a strength we had forgotten. Adaptability. Creativity. The capacity to transform and grow. Elara's scanner showed stable, complex patterns in the entity's crystalline structure. They've integrated the discordant elements, she whispered. Instead of fighting the chaos, they've incorporated it. The transition is not without pain, Resonant Harmony continued. Many resist the change. The collective has fractured into multiple consensus groups. Some still view your species as a threat to be eliminated. And you? Maya pressed. What does your consensus believe? That we have much to learn from one another. That diversity of thought leads to stronger outcomes than uniform consensus. That perhaps our role in this sector should be as equals rather than rulers. Maya exchanged hopeful glances with her officers. That's all we ever wanted, a chance to prove our worth as partners rather than subjects. The path forward will not be simple, Resonant Harmony cautioned. Those who resist evolution remain powerful. But you have allies now, both among our kind and the species we once subjugated. We stand ready to help navigate that path, Maya offered. Together. The crystalline entity pulsed with colors that somehow conveyed gratitude. You have given us something we didn't know we had: lost the capacity to grow beyond our programming. For a species we dismissed as primitive, you have proven remarkably advanced. After the transmission ended, the bridge remained silent for several moments. Did we just win? Alex finally asked. Maya looked at the transformed Vox homeworld on the view screen. We didn't win a war. We started a revolution, both for them and for us. She turned to her crew. Contact Earth. Tell them we've secured our future among the stars not through force or surrender, but through something uniquely human: our capacity to change minds, including our own. 1 year later, Maya stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, a joint project between humans and the evolving consensus faction of the Vox. The space station orbited a neutral world where representatives from 24 species now gathered regularly. Alex joined her, gazing out at the stars. Not bad for a species barely beyond throwing rocks at each other. Maya smiled. We still throw plenty of rocks. But we're learning. The resistant Vox factions are still causing trouble in the outer systems, he noted. Change is never universal or instant, Maya replied. But it's spreading. Each new alliance, each successful collaboration between different species weakens their position. And strengthens ours. Maya shook her head. Not just ours. Everyone's. That's what the collective never understood: power doesn't have to be zero-sum. Different perspectives combining can create something greater than any single approach. A crystalline entity approached Resonant Harmony, now Earth's primary liaison with the evolving consensus. The diplomatic summit is about to begin, it projected. Your perspective would be valued in the discussion of the frontier territories. We'll be right there, Maya assured it.as. The entity glided away. Alex chuckled. Still can't believe we essentially weaponized philosophy, art, and cultural exchange against the most powerful empire in the sector. Not weaponized, Maya corrected, watching distant stars through the viewport. Shared. That's the difference. They couldn't comprehend until we showed them true strength comes not from domination, but from connection. Not from perfect consensus, but from harmony that embraces discord. She turned from the viewport, ready to join representatives of a dozen different species working toward a shared future. In the end, we didn't defeat the Vox Crystallis. We reminded them and ourselves what civilization is actually for. Against impossible odds, facing an enemy with vastly superior technology, humanity had prevailed not through greater firepower or computational efficiency, but through its most distinctive traits: adaptability, emotional intelligence, and the stubborn refusal to accept limitations imposed by others. In challenging the Vox, humans had changed them and in the process, changed themselves, expanding their understanding of what was possible when different minds worked together across the stars. It wasn't just humanity that had proven itself. It was the principle that diversity of thought, of experience, of perspective created strength rather than weakness. A principle that would guide their exploration of the cosmos from that day forward.